Hey, what's up? It's your boy Luke Sanders, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Strucker Secrets for season 10 for our 6th episode this season, because today is our 5-year anniversary week special. So welcome to our 5-year anniversary special, Adam and Steve plus queer acceptance, because baby, we're trying this in the queer community. Let me keep it cute, let me keep it respectful. It's definitely been heard. People talking about, God didn't create Adam and Steve, he created Adam and Eve. I'm like, where do I go from that? Trying to keep it cute. But listen, there were queer people in the Bible. There are queer people in the world now, and y'all can't erase our history. Y'all can't erase us just because y'all don't choose to approve our lifestyle, or certain people don't choose to approve our lifestyle, and you don't understand our lifestyle, or you don't subscribe to it, and you're not queer yourself. Doesn't mean y'all get to throw us away. Doesn't mean y'all get to demonize us. Doesn't mean y'all get to disqualify us as being spiritual, as being religious, whatever we want to be. So there's more to it than just a man being with a woman. It's time for people to accept people of the queer community, because we're people, we matter as well. We deserve respect, we deserve rights, we deserve all of our things, okay? And I really wish I had pulled up, there's this gay pastor who wrote a book about the 25 books of the Bible that are not in the King James Version, I believe. Like, usually the version of the Bible that people read are like the 66 books, but there's a total of 88 books. And not 25 books that was taken out, 25% of the books were taken out. And so I'm really interested in that. I definitely want to hear more about that, because I've heard, here and there about people who were queer in the Bible, and that, it wasn't them being queer that was wrong, but it was what some of them were doing that was wrong while they were queer. Or like, I don't believe the Lord loves people just being with everybody. I'm not here to judge nobody, but just because we're queer, I mean, we trying to holler at everybody or be with everybody. Like, not everybody, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say that about every man either, so you can't stereotype people. So I know there was a pastor saying, it's accepted in the Bible that other people who are queer, but, just some of the things that they're doing. So that's how I feel anyway in life about people and how they view us. Like, it's not about us being queer that's wrong. It's just about what some of us do. But, I think we would, unfortunately, I know I felt, it's hard to feel accepted in church or accepted in these religious spaces, because we are so talked about, we are so demonized, we are so unaccepted. And it can be easy to be like, well, they don't accept me, so these are people who say they love the Lord. So if I'm trying to have a relationship with the Lord and these are his people, then why would I try to shoot for that type of relationship? And why would I have a relationship and have community with these type of people if I'm not accepted, if I'm so wrong, I'm so this? And I think some people turn to the ways of the world, and they get distracted and they sidestep. And I feel like I definitely have walked away from the church, not just because of the lack of not just because of the lack of queer acceptance, but because of how, some things can go and how some things went for me, I'll say, in the past. So it's unfortunate, because in Christianity, people, our thing is to accept people and to love people and to not condemn people. But when it comes to being queer, it doesn't seem like that's always the case. So that's something that I definitely struggle with, as me being out, and as many podcast episodes I've done about my sexuality. I'm out, but I'm not someone to like, oh, hey, I'm queer. Oh, hey, I'm queer. Oh, hey, did you talk to my boyfriend? I'm just not that person. But it's me not being that person is also not somebody who would deny somebody I'm with because of what somebody can say or what they may think. But I just know how people can be, and I'm like, I'm not asking for trouble. I accept me for who I am, but I know everybody might not, so I'm not trying to have those conversations if I don't know if it's a safe space. Granted, to where people know me and know my sexuality more and more, people know me, know my name broadly, I'm not going to be able to control that, because that's something I'm going to definitely talk about. I'm definitely going to talk about, being married and be with a man, having a relationship with a man. So that's not something I'm always going to be able to have my Rolodex of cards to be like, to be able to choose when I want to talk about it. Because I'm not trying to have those weird interactions because, yeah. But it takes time to heal your own, like the homophobia that people put on you, homophobia that people instill in you and try to tell you that it's wrong to be queer, that you're less of a man, that it's not holy, that, all these different things. You have to deal with all that. You have to confront all that. You have to heal all that. You have to pray about all that. And it can be very hard. It takes time to fully accept yourself and accept that you're queer and that is okay and that there's nothing wrong with you and that it is acceptable and that the Lord loves you. It is a very hard journey, especially when it's bred into you so much that that's not true. But that's not the case, because being honest, my relationship with the Lord and my relationship with people at some churches is not the same. Like, people are like, well, if this happens, or if you go through this and this means that. I was just thinking about that the other day or today even. Like, no, that's not the case, because my stuff be harder. It'd be different. Like, if you get the Holy Ghost and you'll speak in tongues right after you get it, or you'll be speaking tongues all the time, or my experience with my spirituality and with the Lord has been different. And, him accepting me and what he showed me for my life and told me about my life. I'm like, I'm going to listen to him, because it's more friction with me and my trust with him and my relationship with him by me trying to believe what y'all saying versus what he telling me, because it ain't lining up. Y'all are, oh Lord, okay, if I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there as respectfully as possible. Y'all are saying what y'all have been taught, but religion is man-made. I'm not trying to follow man more than I'm trying to follow God. Just because y'all saying it doesn't make it true. Like, y'all just, talking about the things that y'all have been taught to say, but that might not be what the Lord is saying. Y'all have gotten stuff so doctrinated, you gotten used to doing it, but maybe the Lord is like, that doesn't work anymore. Or maybe that didn't work. Or maybe this person said I told them this and it actually wasn't true. So we all know religion is man-made. So I always listen to the Lord more than I listen to man. But I have allowed what people actually have said to confuse me from what the Lord has told me over and over. Show me dreams, show me visions, the whole nine. It's just been difficult. Like, it just has, which it sounds so easy to be like, oh no, just follow the Lord, So that's where I'm getting to. Like I said, I follow the Lord, but it's just been like a clash between me, the Lord, and the people. It's just been an issue for me. But yeah, I really wish I had those pulled up. I really wish I had those books read. But you know what? While we're on here, of course, I can't read all 22 of those books, but I can definitely do a quick search real quick just to get a general synopsis of what those 22 books are about. What are the 22 books from the Bible about? What are the 22 books? 2022, Lord. 22 books missing from the Bible about. There we go. There is no definitive list of 22 missing books, as the idea of missing books is a misconception. Not being... Huh? Okay. So let me make sure I'm listening. Let me make sure I'm going to a factual source, because it's saying that that's not even true, which I've heard plenty of people talk about that. So let me make sure. This document. Oh, cool. This gives you each book that's lost and a brief description of each book. Okay. Below is a list of the books, references, or tell us. A few have... Oh, now you want to blur that? Now why can't I see that? Oh, because an ad. Gotta wait 4 seconds for this ad to go by. Child, when they start doing time ads on the internet? I know on YouTube, but be so for real. These are not the original versions. A few have... So I would have to go and look deeper into it, but just generally speaking, these are pretty much the general 22 books that are missing. And to go deeper into it, I would definitely do more research. But first off is the Acts of Solomon. Now the rest of the Acts of Solomon, all that he did and his wisdom, are they not written in the book of Acts of Solomon, Chronicles of King of Israel, and the rest of the Acts of Okay, I'm not going to be able to read all 22 of these, but let me try to go and see if there's anything about queer characters. Not characters, but people in the Bible. Okay, going down. And these are very brief descriptions, like one sentence descriptions. So the fact that these, they might not even have that it talks about, people who are queer. Yeah, this doesn't have it. So let me be more specific. What are the books about queer people missing in the Bible about? Okay, the Bible and the same sex relationships. This is an article, though. Does he talk about this? Transgenderism. It says the Bible doesn't talk about that. That's a good question, though. That's a good question. In the Bible, gender is not binary. For too long. There's so many different things I'm seeing, y'all, so I apologize. Thank you for bearing with me. I did not think I was going to look at this. I would have pulled it up if I thought I was going to look into it. Okay. Let me go ahead and go on. Look at this real quick and I'll be on my way. So this is an article. This is an article written by Tim Keller on Redeemer.com in 2015. The relationship of homosexuality to Christianity is one of the main topics of discussion in our culture today. Going down further, homosexuality was not God's original creative intention for humanity. They're saying that homosexuality goes against God's express. There are a number of other books that take the opposite view. Namely, the Bible either allows for supports of same-sex relationships over the last year or so. I have been regularly asked for responses to their arguments. Vines and Wilson relate stories of people who were sure that the Bible condemned homosexuality. However, they were brought to a change. However, they were brought to a change of mind through getting to know gay people personally. It is certainly important for Christians who are not gay to hear the hearts and stories of people who are attracted to the same sex. And when I see people discarding their beliefs, okay, I want to know the nitty-gritty. Like, Vines and Wilson claim that scholarly research in the historical background show that biblical authors were not forbidding all same-sex relationships, but only exploitative ones. Exploitative ones, pedestry, prostitution, and rape. The argument is that Paul and other biblical writers had no concept of an innate homosexual orientation. And y'all forgive me if I'm slurring my words. I'm a little tired, so bear with me. Because I'm like, ooh, Lord, your words are not coming out tonight. They only knew of exploitative, there we go, homosexual practices, and therefore they had no concept of mutual loving same-sex relationships. Reading through, just trying to get the stuff that is pertinent. Let's see. Some people believe that the Bible condoned race-based chattel slavery was highly controversial and never a consensus. That's different. Okay. I don't think that. Okay. I never heard that. So now they're talking about slavery. And they're going back to same sex. Okay. Wilson puts forward a different form of the recategorization argument when he says the issue of same-sex relations in the church is like issues of divorce and remarriage, Christian participation in war, or the use of vitro fertilization. So people think that in vitro, like IVF, is not of the Bible or not of the Lord? We can extend the list to include matters such as women's roles in ministry and society, as well as views of baptism, charismatic gifts, and so on. History, however, shows that the same-sex relations do not belong in this category either. Around each of the other terms on Wilson's list, there are long-standing. See, these are people who are, listen. So is this saying that the people who were in the Bible was writing the Bible? Like, that might be a common thing that I just don't know. I was told that the Lord gave people or gave somebody what to say, and they wrote the Bible that way. I didn't know this was somebody talking about their own experiences. So is it that? Is it truth that somebody from the Bible, like people from the Bible days, was writing these stories, and it was just from their perception? But if it was just from your perception, that don't make it always true. That's just your point of view. Let me find out that what I was told is not true. Okay? Because now I'm like, wait a minute, what's tea? Okay, so I didn't find a bunch. They just giving general information. They're giving PC answers, and I'm trying to get to nitty gritty. I actually want to know different, you know what I mean? Different characters, different people in the Bible. Okay, it says sex was created by God to be a way to mingle these strengths and glories with a lifelong covenant of marriage. Marriage is the most intense, though not the only place where this reunion of a male, and this says male and female, but you know how I feel about that, takes place in human life. Male and female were shaped. See, it says through marriage, but not only. That's what I was thinking too. Now, I've had that thought like, okay, but what if you with somebody, you know, is that okay if you're not married to them yet? Listen, I have a lot of questions. I have questions, but I don't feel like getting in an argument about it. I ain't trying to debate because I'm just not. Okay, I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna do one more search and I'm gonna move on. I'm trying to see if there were any queer people. Like, I want to see the actual names, the actual people, the actual stories. Really? So the AI overview on Google says the Bible does not explicitly name any queer characters, any queer male characters, but some relationships are interpreted as potentially queer. The most commonly cited example in the close bond between David and Jonathan, a relationship with expression of deep affection and loyalty that some scholars suggest was romantic or sexual. Other figures who are seen through a queer lens include the Ethiopian Enoch in the Book of Acts, who identify as a Enoch. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Is sometimes interpreted as a queer identity in the centurion in Matthew's gospel, who is described as having a boy lover. So y'all basically saying like there's allegedly these queer characters in the Bible, which I don't want to actually say if they were queer. If y'all know if everything else is said, but when it comes to queer people in the Bible, now it's just a question. It's not a for sure thing. Like, why is that a question? You talking about all these other relationships. When it comes to us, you not. Try to have to wet my whistle on that. So the term Enoch was something used for those who were castrated or otherwise didn't fit into the traditional male role. Gotcha. So were they saying he wasn't masculine, quote unquote? Because especially back in the day, to be a man you had to look like this. Try to do this even to this day. In the Gospels, please, Jesus healed a servant who was described as being highly valued as by the. I am genuinely curious now. I know I gotta get on with this show, and I told you that I would, but I am so curious. They said, so this is clgs.psr.edu. written by Jay Johnson in 2011. This says fact. The Bible contains only 3 or 4 clear references to male same-sex love and only 1 possible reference to female same-sex love. Moreover, homosexuality itself is a modern term coined in the late 19th century and represents forms of same-sex love not present in the cultural context of the ancient Mediterranean world from which the Bible comes. Okay, the Bible depicts several very positive same-sex relationships, including the probably erotic relationship of Jonathan and David. And so these were erotic relationships. They just said it might have been a relationship. Now we all know. Never mind, I ain't gonna go there. But this says fact. So they're saying that this is including the erotic relationship of Jonathan and David, that the centurion and his boy lover in the Gospel of Matthew. In addition, the words of Ruth to her mother-in-law Naomi, 2 women are so representative of modern understandings in intimate relationships that they were most often found in marriage ceremonies. The Bible rarely mentions same-sex love. It is not prohibited in the 10 Commandments as adultery is, and it is not prohibited by Jesus as divorce is. Also, they're saying that it's not. So why y'all be trying to? Let me keep reading, because now I'm getting a little irritated, because if it's just this clear, then why are y'all demonizing queer people? There are simply no biblical grounds for arguing that homosexuality is a greater sin than adultery or divorce. Indeed, just the opposite in case. So y'all consider it a sin or what? In the New Testament Gospels, Jesus says absolutely nothing about homosexuality or same-sex relationships. In fact, it is possible that Jesus actually commends a man who is in a same-sex relationship in Matthew 8:15 through 13. What? So he wait a minute. I didn't know Jesus said something about a same-sex relationship. Now y'all really gonna have me stop this whole show and do some real work, do some real research. What? In the New Testament, in fact, it is possible that Jesus actually commended a man who was in the same-sex relationship. What? Okay. I.e., the Roman centurion and his boy, a common pedestrian relationship. Wait, what does that mean? In a Roman iniquity or antiquity? Antiquity? What does that mean? Sexual involvement. What? That's what I thought that meant. I never heard that word, but that's what I thought, like pedophilia. So they're saying that there was a man and his boy. It was a pederastic relationship. I've never heard the word, so if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. Lord, now there's a man in here who's into... That is so messed up. That's so messed up. We get one of the few stories in the Bible, and then it's one with somebody doing some illegal messed up stuff. Come on, sir. And the story of Sodom and Genesis 19, all the men of Sodom attempt to gang rape. Oh, Lord. Ooh, do I want to read this? I did not know I was going to say that. It's about the violence, power, and the hatreds of strangers. So they saying they sexually abused them because they hated them? Why? Okay, so we get 4 stories. 2 out of these stories are horrible. Pedophilia and sexual abuse. Can we get one more? Can we get a good one? Okay, so this is something different about monogamous heterosexual marriage, which I know we're not even talking about that. But it caught my eye. The primary form of marriage in the Hebrew Bible is polygamy. Like polygamy? Like being polyamorous? Like the thing that people shame? Listen, it's not my goal to be in a polyamorous relationship, but I know people loves to hate on y'all. Whoa. With the prize going to be King Solomon, with the prize going to King Solomon, who was said to have had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Concubines, i.e., side chick. What? What? How you, what? Y'all, these revelations, Y'all gonna make me do a whole show about the Bible and queer community and the stuff that we haven't learned. And baby, now that's something that ain't really been done too much, okay? In the New Testament, okay, let me get off of that because that's not about, okay. One last thing, the creation stories in Genesis 1-3 never mention same-sex relationships of any kind, which is true. I remember that the purpose of these stories is to show that God is the creator of everything that exists, and in the modern period that would have certainly include those people who have a sexual orientation towards the others of the same sex. It's not protection, but instead a life of same-sex relationships for the purpose of creation. This is well. Huh! I don't understand what that means, but it's positive. Moreover, in the creation story in Genesis 2, the explicit purpose of creating sexual partners in the man and woman is not procreation, but instead the relief of loneliness. Same-sex relationships fulfill that purpose of creation just as well as opposite-sex relationships do. So they're saying that it's not they're saying that a man and woman is not just supposed to be a man and woman together, just to recreate, which a lot of people just think that's the thing, you know. They said same-sex can do this too because, okay, there's a lot of information that I'm digesting, so it's all coming out as jumbo. Basically what I'm saying is, the Bible is not just saying, or just speaking about a man and a woman being a man and a woman together in a relationship because, you know, just for them to create children. They're saying that they should be in a relationship so they will have relief of loneliness, which same-sex relationships can fulfill that purpose of creation just as well as those relationships do. Those heterosexual relationships as well. Baby, I am shook. So I definitely want to get into the nitty-gritty because why? So basically from one of those stories, the men sexually abused other men because they were trying to not to get with them sexually, but to like abuse them, like to be violent. And then a man was in a relationship with a boy. What in the crap? Like, and y'all, can I take it deeper? Now, this is not in the Bible. If a man was only created, but it was only one man. Like Adam and Eve were the only people in the Bible. It was Adam, then Eve. I was gonna say, if Eve came later, if it was just men, then maybe, you know what I mean? Then maybe there's something there too. Baby, I'm confused. But I am intrigued. I mean, I can't even talk straight. Because I'm like, wait, what happened? What? I have to wet my whistle, y'all, because I am so let me know. Listen, here's the thing. If you're not religious, if you're not spiritual, I get that. I respect that. I am. So I'm not trying to just throw it at you. I'm not trying to, and I probably should have gave a disclaimer. I am a spiritual being, and I'm not, so even if you're not a spiritual being, there's a lot of hate that is given to us anyway. So I'm just trying to give you something else as well. Something else to like, some type of love. You know what I mean? To let you know that there is a higher power that loves us too. Because why is this not being taught? That's what I'm saying. That is the difficulty sometimes when we in my relationship with the Lord versus my relationship with people who say that, you know, are of the Lord as well. Because y'all are just going by what has been done and said through generations and generations. But the Lord is going to tell somebody, the Lord is not going to tell the same exact things to every single person on the earth. Like, he's going to have his same ways and the same things he wants you to do. You know, with some stuff that's general, but he's going to have different assignments and different assignments. He's going to have different assignments for everybody to do. Your assignment might not be somebody's assignment. He might call, you know, you might have a wife and, you know, you might have a wife and she might have a man, or he might have a husband and he might have a husband. Like, y'all trying to make stuff so black and white, but the Lord is so much bigger. He's so much, everything is bigger with him. Everything is thought out. Nothing with him is really black and white. Y'all trying to make it black and white. And y'all try to have it, what's that word I use with somebody? Y'all try to make stuff like it's an absolute. Like, everything is not an absolute with the Lord. Like, y'all try to be like, well, this is this and that's that. But the Lord is so much bigger than that. I'm telling y'all. But, yeah. Because I'm like, the Lord done told me stuff that y'all saying is not true. That y'all saying is true, but he ain't saying, you know, what he's saying contradicts that. And I'm going to believe him over y'all. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all, who is going against the grain and teaching the stuff that hasn't been taught? Like, I read somewhere, there's a BT article about a gay black couple who got married. And I'm like, why am I just hearing about this? Like, goals, y'all gay, y'all black, and y'all pastors? Like, that's not an everyday thing. So I would love to hear more about that. Like, would y'all want to see a show with them? Hello? Like, if I get the rights and I get the opportunity to do that, now that will be a show. People will be mad. People will be talking because y'all love to hate us. I don't get that. Like, it ain't that deep. Like, love us too. But listen, all this, ooh, excuse me. I drank my water too fast and went down the wrong pipe. But out of all this is not begging for love. This is not begging for acceptance. But this is just trying to give more context to us in the Bible and spirituality, and just for more acceptance for us, because we deserve it. We've gone through so much hell, so much abuse, so much disrespect, so many rights that we didn't have. Like, yo, that's what I was thinking. Like, so what? All of a sudden, last 100 years ago, now people are queer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think everybody in the Bible will be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be with a woman if I'm a man and vice versa. I'm like, somebody got to be in there and got to be gay. Like, I know that sounds like just that saying, or like just that, sounds crazy. Not that they're gay, but just to say it flat out like that. Like, I'm like, that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, because I'm like, people like, well, it's against the Bible. And where? Like, maybe I need to do more research, but I don't see where it says to not be in a, so I got to do my own research, I guess. But, yeah, this has really intrigued me because I am flabbergasted. I grew up in church. I'm in church now, and I'm learning stuff that I did not know. So I'm like, wait, what? So y'all try to cover up stuff. Let me find out. Let me get this gay pastor on here who wrote this book about the missing 22 books of the Bible and who is a gay pastor. Let me find out, because he's a gay pastor. Then there's the other two black gay pastors I was talking about. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, baby. I hope you have enjoyed this Adam and Steve plus queer acceptance special, because we are celebrating our 5-year anniversary this week. Yesterday was our actual 5-year anniversary, so we are celebrating on 12/5 for 5 years. 5 years of memories, 5 years of growth, 5 years of coming out, 5 years of a coming of age story. This show came out when, and I'm going to be quick because I've shared this story before, but this show came out during COVID in 2020. When I came out, that was the year I came out. I came out a month before COVID, and all hell broke loose. I thought I was going to be outside, living my best life, dating guys, getting to know guys, being in relationships, getting married, because I was always the one who would be down to get married young. But everything got shut down. Not just my life. Everything got, sight, yeet. Like, everything was shut down. So, came out the month before COVID. I was 20 at that time. The year goes by. Come out with this show in December 2020. I'm 21 now. 5 years later, I'm 26, and that's crazy. I've never had a show that's aired pretty much consistently, because even with our what's it called? What do I call it? When we left, so I left, I was going to end the show, and then I came back and I revived it because you guys were listening so much, and I appreciated the support. Even with that, we still are pretty much in our time frame of like hiatuses between seasons. So we have aired for basically like 5 years straight, which is crazy. 5 years, 10 seasons, over 100 episodes. We have charted on Apple Podcasts 3 times in the top charts. We've charted in the top 60 on a platform. We were a part of we are on a Spotify's top chart. So I'm like, I was looking at that. I'm like, would this be the time to end? Like, I would be going out with a bang, but I'm like, the numbers are still numbering. We've charted. We have the different demographics. Like, it's just so weird, y'all, because I'm not just throwing the show away. I don't want to just throw y'all away or the show away or anything like that. When I first started the show, I had very vulgar stories, and I'm just not in a place where I'm experiencing those vulgar experiences, and I'm not in a place where I want to share those vulgar experiences or anything. I'm in my, more grown era, more mature era, more saved, Christian era, which I'm not demonizing sexuality. I'm just saying I'm just not in that place to where I want to have those conversations. So I'm like, what would the show be? So y'all let me know what y'all want to hear. If y'all want us to come back for a season 11 or revamp and come back with a different show, but still be, you guys will still be the audience. We can continue to grow. If you want more episodes, let me know, because I get comments on Spotify. You can comment on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. You can comment on our socials, on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. So let me know, and thank you guys so much for listening, because make sure you listen to the finale next Friday, which is bananas. But before we go, I want to leave with a scripture real quick. Hebrews 13:14. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let marriage. Okay. Hebrews 13:14. Because my words, child. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled. Baby, you know what that means? You know what that means, okay? I ain't gonna go there, but you know what that means, okay? But make sure you tune in next week. Like I said, make sure you tune in next Friday for our finale. And make sure you follow us at Stroker Secrets on all social media platforms.